Well, I've been off grid here for the last couple hours. I'm running a space heater and I'm pretty impressed. It's brought the temperature up pretty well, up to 64 degrees already. And so that's pulling 1500 watts when I checked it. And then this vacuum I was cleaning up and I was running the space heater and the vacuum. The vacuum was pulling 1100 watts. So I was pretty impressed. That was 2600 watts all at one time, and that's if the refrigerator and other things didn't kick on while I was using the vacuum. So I'm pretty impressed with the solar power. I'm getting cleaned up here. My wife and my two kids are going out of town with my sister-in-law and her two kids, so I'm going off the grid for as much as I can since we don't have to have the heat on or the water. The only I don't think I said this on any videos, so the only issue I've noticed with the solar power, and this is my fault because I didn't realize, so I've got water in the water tank, so I can use water to a certain extent. There's some in the tank right now, and so I can use that, but once it's used up, I cannot get any more water out of the well until I switch back to the power plant. And that is the reason. The reason is because I checked my water pump out there over the well. Well, I mean the submersible water pump, but there's a plate above the well, and I checked it, and it's rated, it's 220 volts on the water pump, and I, as you know, I think it's pretty obvious that I have only 110 volts on the solar power. So I am at a loss for the water pump and the HVAC because those two things are both on 220 volts, which I did not realize. I didn't think about it at the time, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna, in the future, probably get a 110 volt water pump or maybe get a 220 volt solar inverter. I don't know, but there it is out there. I pulled that rock up, and you can't really see it because of it's not a clear view, but I pulled that rock up, and there's a metal plate in there that's stamped with 220 volts, and I was racking my brain trying to think why I wasn't starting the water pump, and then I went out there and said, oh no, I got the wrong voltage. So anyway, that was my fault on that matter, but anyway, everything else works, so I can run the heat on this space heater, and I figured the HVAC would be right at the limits of the solar power, and turns out I can't even run it because it's on 220. So anyway, I'm running the space heater, and that's working well, and I'm running everything else in the house runs, the refrigerator, the freezer, all the other things, except for the water pump and the HVAC. So I'm pretty excited because that is the bare necessities. Now if I lost power plant power for days on end, I wouldn't have any water. But the good thing is when I am just doing it on purpose like this to go on solar power to save my power bill, I can switch back to the power plant for 5 or 10 minutes just to fill up the water tank again, and then I'll have water to do what I need to do, wash my hands and basic stuff. Now, if I'm running the dishwasher, I'll probably cut it back on just while the dishwasher's running or something like that. But as long as I'm just washing my hands or, flushing the toilet, I can do that on solar power. So I'm pretty excited for this update. I'll talk to y'all later. I'll probably have another video next week, and I'll see you can see what's going on then.